You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Listen up, folks. The college football landscape has changed a lot. NIL deals, social media, the transfer portal. There's never been more distractions for an athlete, but Powerade knows what's important, the commitment to the game. With 50% more electrolytes than Gatorade Thirst Quencher, Powerade hydrates athletes as they block out the noise and put in the work. Hydrate your grind with Powerade. Grab a pack today on Amazon or at a store near you. See product label for additional details. It takes more.
Don't miss the new Hulu original drama La Máquina, starring Diego Luna, Gael García Bernal, and Aiza González. La Máquina is the first Spanish-language original series from Hulu. In their long-awaited on-screen reunion, Gael and Diego play lifelong friends. One a boxer, and the other his crafty manager, making one last attempt at glory in the ring. But to make it to fight night, they must confront a mysterious underworld organization, raising the stakes to life or death. All episodes of La Máquina are streaming now on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know, to check you have the tickets in your wallet first before you drive 2 hours to the big game. Seriously, you had one job. Now the closest you'll get to the 50-yard line is parking lot D. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey A.
God bless football, Fuentes.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Yep, we got a big one tonight. The Jets and the Bills coming up, Billy. Looking forward to that. Mikey A's excited. Mikey A already said we're going to lose to the Steelers next week. I have no idea why he's at next weekend already.
Wow.
Because I'm preparing myself for the pain.
Well, hold on.
Preparing my body for pain.
When you go and you lose to the Steelers next week, are you coming in off of a win or a loss?
Good question.
We'll find out tonight.
Well, no.
Big game tonight.
It's
Game for the season. Game for the season.
Billy's right, though. It's a different mood if you go in first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally is.
Yeah.
Plus, you can handle the loss if you win tonight. If you lose tonight, that loss would really end the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But you're declaring this tonight, the game for the season, Jets and Bills?
Game for the season.
Wow.
Game for the soul of this team.
Well, hold on a second. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose next week.
Sure it does, because it matters how you go into next week. If
Well-
you go in and you lose next week, but you won this week, you're like, all right, we're 500 since Ulbrich took over.
Yeah, but if you lose this week, the season's over. So it
now
doesn't
it's
matter if
0-2.
you win or lose next week.
Yeah. I regret going to you with this because you're
Wow.
all over the place with it. I got to be
should.
honest
Jeez
with you.
Louise.
You
Yeah.
should.
Hey, Lucy's going to join us today.
Oh, looking forward to that. Big
Just got to
weekend.
get that out of the way real quick so everybody knows not to tune out.
Okay, thanks, Billy.
Yeah.
Very big weekend in college football. Had some great games. It was a good NFL weekend as well. But college football is super interesting. We might just have to resign ourselves to the fact that Vanderbilt is good. I mean,
I don't know if I'm there yet. I will say this, though.
It's a good loss.
Guys, this is a magical Monday.
yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Magical.
this is the first Monday, early morning, late afternoon, whenever you're consuming this content. Army and Navy are both ranked.
They are.
Army and Navy are both ranked.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not going to say it. Never mind. Let's just move
Say
on.
it. No,
Well, I
no,
was
please
gonna
say it.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
and I would never, say we should be going to war. But if we go to war, we're
Mhm.
ready. Like, we're ready
Right.
with these ranked teams right now.
Right. Are we ready? Because it seems like they're more focused on football than they are, Well, I shouldn't say that. I take that back. We thank you for your service.
Yeah.
I take that back.
Hey.
Yes.
Bengals and Giants is a bad one.
You regret going to me still?
Yeah.
It was a great cover, though. I mean, it was a great cover if you took Cincinnati last night. It was. And I've told you, Billy, and I'm going to say it again, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That team is very, very good. You have no proof of it based on what you saw last night, but that team is very, very good. And thank you for the cover, Joe Burrow.
Can you guys explain something to me? Because I don't understand this, and I didn't think there's a number of ways we started this show that I didn't think we were going to start this show. Okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Explain this to me. How can we be living in a time where you have kickers who are making kicks that you never saw made before in terms of distance, right? But also kickers that are routinely missing kicks that seem like they should be made. Greg Joseph missed both of his field goal attempts yesterday.
Yeah.
Not to say that they would have won the game had he made those kicks, but how do kickers just keep missing kicks this year? I don't understand, but also we have the best kickers we've ever had at the same time.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for you. I mean, I don't. I understand what it is you're saying. I understand why it is you're confused. I don't have an answer, though, as to why it seems like kickers can, routinely hit like 55, 60-yard field goals.
They can hit like a 70-yard field goal now, and then they miss like a 34-yard gimme. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
Joe Burrow can scoot.
He can scoot. What'd you guys make of Nick Sirianni yesterday?
Loser.
So the Eagles,
such a loser. Oh my God.
Really? Because the Eagles got the win. The fans were getting on Sirianni. Sirianni, brought it up to the fans, walked over to the fans who were screaming at him. I'm going to stand with Nick Sirianni. I am. I stand with Nick Sirianni.
Did you see what else he did?
What?
He brought his kid to the press conference because he knows he's going to get asked all these questions.
Yeah.
So he put his kid right in front of him, like, go ahead, ask me bad questions now.
Yeah, it's a great move.
Look at my kid's face and say things. Oh, listen, Stugotz School of Broadcasting. I mean, dude, what a jerk.
This is the earliest that we've ever gone to this segment, but it is Winners and Losers, presented by Smirnoff, the world's number one vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Wow, we're going this early, huh?
We're going this early because on this week's list of Winners and Losers, I had one name, and it was Nick Sirianni.
For both?
And after a big win for Nick Sirianni.
He did win.
He did win.
Yes.
And he there's talking maybe on the hot seat a little bit there.
Yeah,
huge win over the towering 1-4 Browns.
Exactly right.
The 1-4 Browns, who have yet to score 20 points in a game this season.
Huge
Amazing.
win for Nick Sirianni.
Yes.
So yes, it was a big win for Nick Sirianni.
Yep.
I have him listed as this week's loser in Winners and Losers, presented by Smirnoff, the world's number one vodka. Please drink responsibly.
The rare loser who won.
They barely beat the 1-5 Browns, as we previously stated.
Yeah.
Who wow, the Browns.
They're bad.
In a bad position.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're just in bad shape. It's not that they're bad,
right?
Which they are.
They're bad.
But they're like, I don't know how they get out of the bad.
Right.
Like if I'm Myles Garrett, he jumped over someone yesterday to block a field goal, which led to, I believe, their only touchdown of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why he's even jumping over people at this point. If I'm Myles Garrett, I'm just like, whatever, kick the field goal. I don't care. I'm not going to hurt myself jumping over someone. What a waste.
I heard this question, and I'm curious what you think. If the Browns called your team and said, we'll give you Myles Garrett for a second-round pick, but the caveat is you also have to take Deshaun Watson and his contract.
The answer is no.
Oh, his contract?
The answer is no. It's a bad look, and you have to take on the contract. So
okay, let me ask a different question.
Yes.
How about this? The Browns call you and say, we'll give you Myles Garrett for nothing, but you also have to take Deshaun Watson and his contract.
Wow.
So you're not giving up a second. You just get him, but you have to eat that contract.
How about we remove Deshaun Watson from the equation and the Lions call because they lost Aiden Hutchinson and they say, hey, we'll give you a first-round pick for Myles Garrett.
But you got to keep Deshaun Watson. Yeah, we don't want Watson.
Right. Deshaun stays with the Browns in this scenario.
That was the part that made it a tricky situation.
I'm already saying
now it's just like, hey, do you want Myles Garrett on your team?
I'm already saying no to all things that involve Deshaun Watson. Like,
he hasn't passed for 200 yards this year. That's crazy.
Winning can't be that important where you would even take Myles Garrett for free. You get what I'm saying?
What?
Like, winning can't be so important that you would take Myles Garrett in a sweetheart deal. Winning can't be that important to an organization where you would take Myles Garrett and take on Deshaun Watson's contract. That's what I'm saying. You have to separate the two. You don't take on Deshaun Watson.
Well, no, that's why it's a fun hypothetical.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a fun hypothetical.
Your situation.
I think it's a stupid hypothetical.
Aiden Hutchinson's got hurt. Should they trade for Myles Garrett? Like,
who says no?
Yes.
No one. That's why.
Right.
That's why that game doesn't work.
I'm surprised.
That's why it's fun to add Deshaun Watson.
I know, but here we are, 5 in the afternoon. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
it may have.
that's all I'm saying.
It's a long day.
In fairness, it may have already happened.
No, there's no
Long
why.
day.
You would take on Deshaun Watson and his contract, Billy, to get Myles Garrett if you were a team that felt like you were Myles Garrett away. Would you do that?
Do I have to trade a second-round pick for him?
Yes.
Third round.
Well, no.
Third
wait,
round.
no,
Fourth
no,
round
I'm
pick.
telling you the scenario that I would create.
I get the scenario. Make it
no picks, just him, and I get Deshaun's contract, and then I'd have to like go into like cap numbers and how we can kind of just eat that money.
right. Would winning be important to you to take on Deshaun Watson?
Yes, winning's the only thing.
I'm a
that's
Jets
important.
fan.
Okay, I'm
Of course
sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Of course I would too.
I'm saying I'd figure out. I'd have
Well,
to
he'd
figure
start
out.
for us, Deshaun Watson.
That's where you're at.
I mean, we'll see after tonight.
I think Aaron's
And next Sunday.
I think Aaron is gonna.
I love a good wait and see.
This is gonna be, I think, the most. I could be spectacularly wrong.
Ask
on
me the
this.
same question tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is gonna be the most focused Aaron Rodgers is gonna be headed into a football game in years.
Really?
Yes, because he wants to make it seem like Robert Saleh
Yeah.
was the problem.
He comes out the hero if he wins big tonight.
Yeah, this is, I don't want to say a legacy game, but this might be a Jets legacy game for Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Yeah, for his Jets
Those don't
legacy.
usually go well for us.
Yeah.
No. How many legacy games have we had as an organization?
I mean, this isn't not a legacy game for the Jets or a legacy game for Aaron Rodgers. This is an Aaron Rodgers Jets legacy game.
Okay,
This is for
gotcha.
his Jets legacy.
It's Aaron Rodgers' second act legacy game.
So just so
Second
everyone here is clear, you're saying this is the most focused Aaron Rodgers will ever be for a football game, including the Super Bowl.
I think this. Well, he's not going to go to another one. I think this is
But he
the
went to
most
one.
focused
Ouch.
he's going to be for a football game in a very long time.
Okay.
You don't think so?
It's for first place. I understand what you're saying.
No,
about
that doesn't
Saleh.
matter.
Right,
Toss the first place
just
out
the
of this
Saleh
equation.
part of it. Right.
Exactly right.
Right.
This is just about Robert Saleh. This has nothing to do with first place being on the line.
Right, but he demoted his best friend Nathaniel Hackett. When I say he, I mean Aaron Rodgers demoted his best friend Nathaniel Hackett for appearances. And so by performing well tonight, that would not bode well for Nathaniel Hackett. But I guess Aaron doesn't care at this point.
Aaron's
right?
not following what plays are being called. Get out of here if you believe that. Aaron and old Nate Hackett have their own like system. They have their own like little walkie-talkies. You're gonna see like a pouch, like he's gonna be fumbling around in that like front pouch thing that's supposed to keep your hands warm. You're like, why is he wearing a hand warmer? It's probably like high 60s. He doesn't need that. It's not that cold. And all of a sudden he's gonna pull out a little walkie-talkie. And he's going to, like, press it. It's him talking to Nate on the sideline. Watch. You'll see.
I love how you refer to Nathaniel Hackett as old Nate.
Watch closely.
Watch closely.
Good old Nate.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If Aaron Rodgers pulls a walkie-talkie out of that thing today,
Yes.
no one can ever say anything to me again. If he's on the field and he pulls a walkie-talkie out of that hand warmer and he's talking to old Nate, no one can say anything moving forward.
All right. Does that conclude winners and losers?
Winners and losers this week was it was a special edition. It was just Nick Sirianni. Winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Jerry Jones has to fire Mike McCarthy.
Oh my God! On his birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday was his birthday.
Talk about another loser.
Oh.
Cowboys look so bad.
You know what? New winner. Winner. Everyone who hates Jerry Jones won yesterday. Winners and losers presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
How about your boy Doug Peterson?
Oh, Doug.
And Trevor Lawrence.
Well, here's the thing. They're in London for another week. They have another game there next week. So
you can have them.
I mean, I don't think that they're going to fire them while in London. But you said he's not coming back from London. You were right in that they have another game there this week. But after this week, I don't know. I don't know
I'm gonna
about
take
Doug.
his passport.
They were already asking him after the game, like, "Hey,
I know.
do you have shots, full confidence?" He's like, "Yeah, we're good." It's
Right.
like, I don't know about Doug.
Well, he also said there was a culture problem inside the locker room and
Yeah.
inside the organization. Hey, buddy, that's on you. You create the culture.
He said he saw a lot of quit in the team. I'm like, that's a head coach problem.
They quit on you.
Head coach problem.
Like so like in Nick Sirianni's post-game press conference where he had his kids, he was saying like a lot of guys came up to me and were like, "Hey, we really need you back there. We really need you to like get your head in the game." It's like, dude, why are you saying this out loud? Like you're the head coach. You should not be having your players come to pump you up. That's not how this relationship works.
Sirianni is the only Eagles coach in franchise history to make it to the playoffs in his first 3 seasons, and that team is 3-2, and they're coming off a win. I understand why Sirianni's upset. I mean, he was a play away from winning the Super Bowl, and the fans are chanting for him to get fired.
Yeah.
Lucy, next.
Feeling lucky? Put your money in Larceny Weeded Bourbon where your mouth is. Whether you enjoy sipping it straight or mixing it in a cocktail, the true pros know Larceny raises the stakes in flavor with every pour. That's because it won double gold at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Don't gamble with what's in your glass. Enjoy smoother sips no matter the spread, and seize tonight with Larceny Bourbon. Find a bottle near you at larcenybourbon.com. God Bless Football is brought to you by Larceny Bourbon, Bardstown, Kentucky. 46% alcohol by volume. Think wisely, drink wisely. Don't miss the new Hulu original drama La Máquina, starring Diego Luna, Gael García Bernal, and Aiza González. La Máquina is the first Spanish-language original series from Hulu. In their long-awaited on-screen reunion, Gael and Diego play lifelong friends. One a boxer, and the other his crafty manager, making one last attempt at glory in the ring. But to make it to fight night, they must confront a mysterious underworld organization, raising the stakes to life or death. All episodes of La Máquina are streaming now on Hulu.
All right, we'll bring in Lucy in just a second. We do not forget about college football here on God Bless Football. Lucy joins us. She is the most popular thing on this show, according to Billy, and I agree with Billy. I think she is the most popular. Well, you are, Lucy. The audience has grown to love you.
Except the ones that hate you, but we forget about them.
Yeah.
We don't listen.
They
to
don't
them.
like me.
Yeah, we don't listen to those people.
How was your weekend in Oregon?
It was my favorite weekend we've ever had.
Really?
Wow. It really was. And I
Wow.
do sort of feel like I say that a lot, but it's only because we're getting new experiences in. And so my list of like my favorite place continues to change as we get to experience new things. But Oregon was an absolutely just like unreal environment. Like the stadium is really, really loud despite being kind of small. The fans are super, super nice. Just like the scenery is so beautiful and the football was really good. Like it was just such a good trip.
She put out a video at halftime, Stugotz, and I'm going to be honest with you. I saw it on mute, and I was like, this is the greatest video I've ever seen. Because it was just the scenery behind her. I was like, this place seems beautiful. I have no idea how good the tailgating was. The game seemed like a lot of fun. It just looks great. Like, if I was like a hiker, I feel like I would live there.
Well, hikers do live there, yes.
Or like if I was like a camper, like I don't think I'd have a house if I lived there. Maybe like a tiny house or like
A tiny house.
yeah, like I'd have like a tiny house or like a house like on a trailer, not like a motorhome, like one of those that like you unpack and then it's like, oh wow, this is a log cabin. I'm living in the back of my house, and then you just walk around on a trail, you swim in a lake, you get like cholera or something, and then you die. But you die in a beautiful place.
I have a friend who lives like in sort of that area, and she lives in a van.
Of course, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Down by the river.
I feel like everybody lives in a van there.
Billy, I guess I get what you guys are saying. You don't want too many temptations to stay inside when it's so nice outside. Is that what you're saying? You want to be one with nature.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, no, but if you live there,
you want to
would.
stay in a Ritz, right?
No, I would live like it's beautiful. I would vacation there, but I'm not a nature girly. Like that's just not who I am, so I can't live there.
Is that your first time going there?
No, for a football game, yes, I have been to Oregon and Eugene once before, very briefly.
I'm thinking that like the next time you go, and you're gonna hate this suggestion, but I'm thinking like the next time you go, like it's a camping trip, right? Like forget the hotel and all
No.
that stuff. We just get like a little tent, we set it up. Maybe Thomas
She
goes
just
out,
said
he
she
goes
doesn't like to do
fishing.
that. I mean,
Well, no, but like for the
No.
experience,
right? I
Well,
get
be
it.
great.
Rose and
For the
Thomas
video.
yeah, Rose and Thomas can do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think Rose and Thomas go out and they like they provide like the sustenance. Like they fish, maybe Rose hunts. I don't know.
Yeah.
I see Rose as like someone that climbs a tree and like goes to like a beehive to get the honey, you know?
Yeah. When's the last time you've been camping?
I was a Boy Scout.
Were you really?
Yeah, just so you know. Yeah.
Really?
I was a Girl Scout.
There you go.
Yeah, but you hate nature. I mean,
Yeah, I
Where do you
did
think
quit.
she learned to hate?
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Billy's very excited that both Army and Navy are undefeated.
Oh, what a magical Monday it is, Lucy.
They are, and like they're not undefeated. They're good. Army was like won by like 30 or 40 this weekend against UAB, who is really, really bad. There was a point where Army was up like 20 something to 3 against UAB and had not attempted a pass yet.
Wow. Both those teams.
Crazy.
So they play each other, but I'm wondering if both those teams, if there's a path for both teams to make it to the college football, to the playoff, Lucy.
There is a path. There's not a path for both of them to make it to the college football. I mean, technically there is. I just can't imagine that they're going to put two group of 5 schools in the playoff when they have one set spot. Like, I think it's just going to be the one. There is a very clear path right now for Army and Navy to meet in the AAC championship game the week before Army Navy.
All right, I have some Lucy or Goosey for you. Before I get to them, though, in terms of I understand the beauty, the surroundings, the nature. Oregon's a fabulous place. In terms of in-game experience, where did it rank for you?
It's top 3 for sure. I was shocked because we had gone to a game at Washington last year, which is a really great experience. But I've noticed when we're going to these West Coast schools, they tend to sort of lack the tradition that you see at Big Ten and SEC schools. That wasn't the case for Oregon. So they do shout in the fourth quarter, which is really, really cool. They do this like song about Oregon after the first quarter, which was fine. I didn't like it as much as shout, but there was like really great tradition with it. Also, it was so loud that at halftime I had to go up and get earplugs because I was genuinely worried about my hearing.
Wow.
All right, Lucy or Goosey, are you ready?
You know, shout was on my wedding do not playlist.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Why?
Same here.
Well,
really?
So for Oregon, Animal House was filmed in Eugene. So it's got like the little like tie-in.
Okay.
So you had that on your do not playlist, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Why? Because it's like
you don't remember?
Well, it's a standard. No, I don't. Why? Because it's a standard. I know. Thank you for throwing that in there, making me feel worse about it.
You don't feel bad.
I do feel bad about it. I actually do feel bad about it. It's been sitting with me for a long time.
It hasn't.
How long have you been married?
Exactly. Can I ask you a question,
But
Lucy?
why was that on your do not playlist? Because it's a standard wedding song? It's too cliche?
There's a couple songs on there. Can I ask you something, Lucy? If Iowa State makes the college football playoff, did we expand the playoffs for no reason?
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, I'm biased. I'm wearing an Iowa t-shirt right now. Iowa State has been pretty good money for me betting wise this year. They tend to cover. The Big 12 is wide open right now. It's a very sort of weird conference. It absorbed all the weirdness of the Pac-12 with it. Texas Tech, BYU, and Iowa State are the only undefeated teams in conference play right now. That conference will end up working itself out, but we might get a situation that we're like, hey, no more automatic bids. No more.
Wow. Lucy or Goosey, Mike Vrabel will be coaching Ohio State next year.
Goosey, because I think that they're going to offer Dan Lanning first. And also I think that if Ryan Day beats Michigan, I think his job is safe. Like, I think that's the one game, because if you look at the rest of Ohio State's season, there's not a big challenge outside of Indiana, which is kind of funny to say. So like, your take of college football games and losses don't mean anything is wrong. Like, it's absolutely wrong. But the flip side of it a little bit is like, losses mean less. Where a loss like this last year, your season is over.
Right.
Not technically, but pretty close to it. Ohio State is still, very much alive and most likely will make the playoff. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Ohio State, Oregon again in the Big Ten championship game.
They do have a game at Penn State as well, Lucy. Ohio State.
Oh, but James Franklin, I'm not worrying about that.
You're not worried about that. Okay. Leads me to my next question. Penn State won despite James Franklin doing everything he could to lose that game. Lucy or Goosey?
Lucy, because despite James Franklin trying to do everything he could to lose that game, Lincoln Riley was like, I'm going to do it better than you. Like, this is my time.
Right.
We're at home. This is my chance. Like, I just imagine the final sort of like overtime and late fourth quarter of that game, James Franklin is watching Lincoln Riley and being like, this is good stuff. I wish I would have thought of this myself. Like, it's just like who they are. And Shutdown Fullcast said it so perfectly, where they were like, everyone keeps saying this is like USC, welcome to the Big Ten. They were doing this in the Pac-12 too. This is not.
Lincoln Riley didn't want it more.
No, he didn't.
Well,
and
he wanted the loss more. Yeah.
Lincoln Riley just wants to fight with reporters. Like, that is just like how he gets his energy out. So like Penn State looks a lot better, and their tight end was bat crazy in that game. Like one of the wildest performances we've ever seen. They are better. Their offensive coordinator has been really good. Drew Aller has been pretty good. But it's still like, I won't believe them getting over the hump until I see it. And they play Ohio State in, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll figure it out then.
Dan Lanning replacing Ryan Day because Ryan Day's quarterback slid too late would be so ridiculous. Because like that game, that was the difference in the game, and that costing the coach the
game
job.
of inches, Billy.
And then Dan Lanning taking over that job because the quarterback forgot to slide sooner is crazy.
I don't look at that necessarily as sort of like what cost Oregon the game. Like, that was just kind of like a dumb moment, but not anything that like Will Howard should like be purposely devastated over. Like, the way that Dan Lanning coached this game and the way that he coaches every single game, like, there's something with the Dan head coaches, with Dan Campbell and Dan Lanning, where like if you say the word analytics to them, they like puke everywhere. He came into this game knowing that Ohio State was like a perfect team, and they really, really are. And so he was just super aggressive from the jump, which worked. And there were some moments where like, maybe you shouldn't have gone for 2 there. Maybe you should have just taken the field goal. But like, I look specifically at the onside kick, where I know Oregon only got a field goal off of that possession, but like, to take a possession away from Ohio State in a game where possessions mattered more than anything, like, he was so aggressive that sometimes it made me really anxious and gave me tummy aches. But like, it was such a coaching masterclass from Dan Lanning on just like balls to the wall, like, send it.
Do you think that Ohio State beating Michigan, even though it's a down year for Michigan, would be enough for Ryan Day to keep his job?
Yeah, I would think so. Like, I think if you look at Ryan Day's winning percentage, I'm probably sure it's in the 900s. You know, he doesn't lose a lot of games. And it's not like they didn't lose to Rutgers. You know, they lost to Oregon, the number 3 team in the country at the time, when they were the number 2 team in the country. And it wasn't like they lost in an incredibly like blowout fashion. That game felt very equal across the board. Like, it's one of those games where you're like, well, if they played 10 times, blah, blah, blah. But like, it's not a loss that anyone should hang their head off. If I'm an Ohio State fan, obviously I'm unhappy, but I don't feel bad about that game. Like, there are concerns, but I don't feel bad. And Ohio State most likely will cruise through regular season. If they don't beat Michigan, that's the problem, especially when Michigan's having a down year. But if they beat Michigan, go to the Big Ten championship game, which I would assume they'll probably win, I don't think they're going to fire Ryan Day.
Lucy or Goosey, Alabama's win felt like a loss.
Oh, it absolutely, Lucy. It felt so much like a loss, especially because if you watch that game, Alabama, like, South Carolina had one really bad blown coverage late in the fourth, which led Alabama to score. Had that play not happened, South Carolina would have won, because when they were driving down the field at the end of the game, which they did so well and so efficiently, they needed 8 points. If a few things had gone a little bit differently, like, South Carolina would have won that game, because they just had to get that weird number of 8. It was just across the board. Alabama's defense does not look good. Like, since the second half of that Georgia game, they have been bad. I read something online that, like, they have given up more big plays this season than they had, like, the last 3 years combined. Like, their defense doesn't look good. Jalen Milroe has kind of fallen into his old ways of just, like, a very inconsistent, crazy quarterback. Like, before the end of the half of that game, he gave up 5 points to South Carolina alone. And it was, like, doing dumb shit. So, like, they're off. they're out of whack, and that absolutely feels like a loss if you're a Bama fan. Like, no one's going to be happy. And if you want proof, tune into Feinbaum today.
That's funny. Guys, Ryan Day, I wrote down the winning percentage for Billy. He has the highest winning percentage among active head coaches in college football.
Yeah, he loses one game a year, maybe two, and it just happens to be to the one team you cannot lose one game a year to.
87.5% win percentage. 875.
The highest in the sport.
Pretty
Crazy.
good. Pretty good.
And the guy lives on the hot seat. It's absolutely amazing. If Georgia loses to Texas, they are not making the playoff. Lucy or Goosey?
If Georgia loses to Texas, I still think they make the playoff. They have a chance to get a signature win against Tennessee later in the season. But like the way the SEC has sort of just kind of like cannibalized itself over the last few weeks, where Ole Miss picked up a second loss, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, almost lost to South Carolina, Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Like the top of the league, which is Texas, is up here. And then there's this just a bunch of stuff happening right here. So like there's with 12 teams in the playoff, there's absolutely no world where we don't see more than one SEC team. And right now Texas is the favorite and Georgia is second. And like they're not going to punish you for a loss to Texas. Alabama, if they keep playing like this, maybe a little bit, but still it's like Alabama. So I feel pretty confident in saying Georgia makes the playoff.
Lucy or Goosey, Alabama, Tennessee is the biggest game of the weekend.
Ooh, I think I'm
so
gonna
wait,
go.
hold on, Lucy. Billy just said what and why, because they're both one-loss teams, and I maintain that if you get to 2 losses, you're done. Like I've been saying that all year. So this is a matchup of one-loss teams. Anyway, go ahead, Lucy. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go Goosey just because I think that the jump from 4 to 12 affords several 2-loss teams, especially because teams like Georgia already have a loss. I would say Georgia Texas is bigger because we are sort of wondering, like, Texas hasn't really faced anybody.
Right.
Oklahoma isn't very good this year. So like this is a very big weekend for like kind of understanding how good Texas is. And like this is easily a preview of the national championship if you want it to be. Alabama, Tennessee, I think is going to be kind of ugly because Tennessee's offense is having a tough time. Alabama's defense is having a tough time. Like, I do think this game has more stakes in the playoff, but just straight up in like the college football sort of spectacular sort of showmanship is you're having Texas at first year in the SEC hosting Georgia. Like, that's an elite game. So it's hard for me to pick against that, but I think they're both going to be interesting. Alabama, Texas, or Alabama, Tennessee, the energy is really, it's weird. It's off.
Lucy or Goosey, final one for you. Mississippi did not lose to LSU. They lost to Death Valley. Lucy or Goosey?
I'll go Goosey just because, you know what? No, I changed my answer to Lucy.
Wow.
You know what? You're right.
Yes.
Take it.
Wow.
They lost to Death Valley. When you don't trail for a single second in a game and still lose, you lost to Death Valley.
Thank you. Where are you headed this week, Lucy?
That's a really good question that you have asked me, that you have posed. That's awesome that you've asked that. Stay
Navy
curious.
Charlotte, maybe?
Navy
keep asking
Charlotte.
questions.
Yes. Wow.
If anybody works in Texas or Tennessee, let me know.
Chris Sims. We could talk to Chris Sims and try to make that happen.
Yeah,
Billy's already making faces.
He's beloved there. That'll go well.
Yeah.
Ricky Williams, perhaps? I mean, I don't know.
You're
We
not going to
tried.
call Ricky Williams.
I will reach out to Ricky Williams for you, okay? And if that
I think we already did.
well, if that doesn't work, because Ricky sometimes doesn't get back to me, I will reach out to Major Applewhite, all right?
Thank you.
You
I
know
was
him?
looking for more people that work within the university. If there are
Yeah.
any listeners here,
All right.
just let me know.
I'll look into it for you and get back to you, okay?
Thanks.
Thank you, Lucy. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you, guys. Iowa scored 40 points this weekend. Nobody's talking about it.
Sorry.
They scored 40 against Washington. All right. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by CarMax. Searching for your next car? Don't settle. Thrive. At CarMax, it's easy to shop online or in person. With upfront pricing and tools designed to help, finding a car you love has never been easier. Plus, you can sell or trade in your current vehicle with an online offer in minutes. No strings attached. Start shopping now to find a car you'll love at CarMax.com. CarMax, the way it should be.
Stugotz?
Yes.
We're presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. So we're over halfway through this episode, and we haven't even gotten to Commanders-Ravens yet.
Right.
Which was a great game.
Very good game.
I have my BBBBBB picks, and this week, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a BBBBB bit conflicted.
Really?
Yeah, because I had some, and Mikey, for, I want to say the first time ever, said, hey, I have a pick for you if you want a strong feeling. And I had one that I wasn't feeling super strong about.
Right.
And then Mikey said, no, keep that one. Switch this other one that I felt more strongly about.
Right.
So now I still have one that I don't feel strongly about. I had one that I felt stronger about that I've now negated in lieu of Mikey's pick. And then I have one that I do feel good about. So we can get to those a little bit later if you'd like to.
Okay. I would like to do that.
Yeah.
What's your record? Do you know?
My record presently is 11-7, I believe.
Not bad.
Yeah.
You enjoyed the Ravens-Commanders game yesterday?
Actually, that's not true. It's 13-8 after last week.
13-8.
13-8.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that Ravens-Commanders game? It's a nice little moral victory for the Commanders, right?
I think it's one of those that like kind of lived up to the hype, right? Like we thought this was going to be a good game. I feel like it was a good game. There were a lot of bad games yesterday.
There were.
Like there wasn't a ton of like great games. There were some blowouts. Even by the way, though, like you look at a game like the Texans and the Patriots that was a 20-point blowout. Drake may have something there.
Maybe.
Drake, maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But also, maybe.
I hope not as well, Mikey A. Trust me.
He had a pass to Keyshawn Boutte that was the longest pass that they've had in 3 years that was perfect.
Yes.
It just dropped in absolutely perfectly.
A dime?
Oh, yeah. I actually have it here. A dime. It was a 40-yard touchdown, a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible pass.
Yep.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, but maybe. I'm surprised, actually, that you're going the maybe not route. This probably is just because it's like a Patriots thing and you don't want the Patriots to have another quarterback.
Let me clear up any confusion. That's 100% what it is.
Okay. Fully. That is the reason.
You like to play the games with the new quarterbacks every single year, and like we've been waiting on Drake, and maybe.
Right. So yeah, he's entered the game. I understand what you're saying. We have Jaden Daniels. Now we have Drake May. We have Caleb Williams, who continues to get better and better. Bo Nix took a little step back. We're still waiting on Michael Penix. And we got Spencer Rattler yesterday. How about that?
I'm not so certain about him. I'm going to go with maybe not on him.
Fuentes saw some signs, he said. I mean.
He didn't play terrible.
Right.
He didn't play great.
Yeah.
Right. Signs.
You know? Yeah, signs. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He didn't look rattled.
He had moments. He had moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flashes, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Baker, I think, is the MVP of the league so far.
Really?
Right?
Wow.
Who would we put in that conversation?
Spags.
Okay. Hey, Spags, later this week, by the way. Check your local listings. I don't know why I said check your local listings, but check them.
Check your local listings.
I don't know where you'll check them, but check them.
When's the last
Get
time
that TV guide.
When's the last time anyone checked their local listings?
Want to catch Spags? Check
Are
your
there local listings anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think for like Wheel of Fortune, basically, and that's it.
Billy, you asked who else would be in that conversation. I would say Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, and probably Derrick Henry.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but
Joe Burrow.
They're not going to give it to a non-quarterback. Like Derrick Henry,
Derrick Henry deserves it.
Yeah, but they're not going to give it to a non-quarterback. That's become a quarterback award.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
But you're just asking
Derrick
who else
Henry,
is right.
Offensive Player of the Year.
That's how they get around it, because they gave the MVP to the quarterback, and then the
it's a
offensive player.
workaround.
Correct.
Yes.
It's
they don't have to
crazy
give the
how
MVP
good he's
out.
been this year.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, crazy.
I think he has 700. I think he's north of 800 yards. Am I right? I got to look this up now.
I remember after game one, people were saying, "Oh, he just kind of fell in the end zone against Kansas City." No, like he's not
playing.
He's very good.
These are like college numbers that he's putting
Correct,
up.
yeah.
Like this is like he's playing against players that are not his size, and he's so much better than that. Like it's crazy.
He has 704 yards so far.
Yeah.
And to think his prime was
And
wasted.
a touchdown every game.
Through 6 games.
His prime was wasted at the Titans. Wasted.
Anyone could have had him.
Exactly.
He's making Lamar Jackson's job a lot easier,
You're
man.
also making Jerry Jones look very dumb.
That's the best team in the NFL.
They look good.
Couldn't afford him.
I know. Well, I mean.
Couldn't afford Rex Ryan either, but that defense is looking perfect.
Yeah.
Will
With Mike
Levis
Zimmer.
is done, right? Will Levis is not good. Can we agree on that?
Sure.
Will Levis over a half interception every week is easy money bets, and I have you to thank for that, Billy. Because
oh man, we almost missed it that week because that's the week he got hurt, but he made sure to get it out of the way nice.
Yeah, no, he got it in early just to make sure he got it.
But
and this week he got it in the fourth quarter, and I was never scared. I was like, no, he'll do it.
Right,
he'll do it. And there, he did it.
But you guys are declaring, like, are we saying it now as a show? Will Levis done?
Yes.
Yeah, Mikey?
I think so.
Until they up his interceptions every week to 1.5.
Right.
Yes.
yeah,
Would you guys bring back Richardson at this point? I'd just stay with Flacco.
They did that yesterday.
It's hard.
I know,
That's
but
hard.
I know. I know you want to develop the young guy, but the old guy's good still. I mean,
the Steelers are having that conversation also, right?
yeah, they won. I mean, Fields was okay. He ran for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Russ was finally healthy yesterday.
He was available to play yesterday.
He was available to play. Richardson, I think, was like a late scratch, and then he became like their emergency quarterback in the event that they needed one third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
But like the Steelers actually made a decision yesterday.
They did. You're right.
I don't know about Flacco. I think as soon as Richardson's healthy, Flacco's losing that job.
I mean, you're probably right. I'm just asking the question, should he?
Well, he's not losing the job. He's getting his job back.
That's true,
Yeah,
too.
he's always gonna be
I
back.
suppose.
But isn't it weird that we're worried about the 20-something-year-old getting hurt and not the 40-something-year-old
He
getting
never
hurt?
gets hurt. I mean, you got him. Sorry, I was drinking water.
Yeah, what's
He
going
never
on,
gets
man?
hurt.
You
I
really
was
have to
drinking
get
water.
that out, huh?
And when I said he never gets hurt, I thought someone would pick it up from there, but no one picked it up from there. Now I have water on my face.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you want
that's the
some you want some bets here? We can do some bets. This is early for bets in the
Yes.
show, early in the proceedings, but I'm conflicted. So I feel like the bets may turn into more of a conversation.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm gonna start with my sure one, which I don't know why I'm doing because I already wrote another one down, but I'm gonna start with my sure one, and then
Okay.
I will get to the ones that I'm not super certain of. Okay.
So the
Billy,
one
I didn't know you were 13-8. I think you should ignore me and just do what you do.
yeah, I'm 13-8 on the season.
I
so
didn't know you were that.
I've
so.
been having a decent season so far. You know what? Maybe we'll this is what we're going to do. I think we're just going to do a bonus one. We'll do a fourth and it'll include
Wow.
Mikey's. And then I can do the one that like I was okay on. And then I'll do the one that I'm uncertain of. And then we'll do Mikey's also. And then we're going to have a rare fourth this week.
Which one did you just erase, and which one are you writing down right now?
Here's my for sure one.
Thank
Aaron
you.
Rodgers over 217.5 passing yards. We have discussed this today. I feel like Aaron is going to try to put on a show today. Come hell or high water, Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing that ball today, and he's going to get over 217.5 passing yards. He's going to go out of his way to make sure to make the world think that Robert Saleh was the problem.
Okay, and that's the one you're sure about.
That's the one that I'm sure about.
Okay.
All right, now, here's one that I was feeling good about, but Mikey kind of tried to talk me off of.
Okay.
And that is related to Aaron Rodgers. It is Alan Lazard over 34.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
I thought I was feeling good about that one. Mikey told me, no, I have one for you. And I told him the one that I wanted to switch. He said, no, keep that one. Switch the Lazard one. And here is Mikey's pick.
Okay, he's
for this
writing
week.
it down now.
Oh, this is the bonus pick then.
This is the bonus pick, and then I'm going to get to the one that I'm not feeling confident about to see if we want to keep it or not.
Okay, so
this
Rodgers over, Lazard over, Mikey's pick, then
Mikey wanted me to replace Lazard with Mike Williams over 24.5 receiving yards.
all right.
Now, here's the thing about this pick. Mike Williams gets roughly 4 targets a game.
Mhm.
Now, the thing is, he's got to catch the ball. If he catches the ball, we're good, and
Yes.
he'll get it.
Yes.
But he's got to catch the ball.
It's a big if. Yeah.
He's got to catch the ball like 3 times, because last week he was targeted, I believe, 4 times, caught the ball twice.
Got it.
And he barely got what he needed to get. So we're going to need Mike Williams to catch the ball 3 times today. If he does that, which honestly, maybe we should change the game to like receptions for Mike Williams, right? But we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to go over the 24.5 yards. If he catches the ball 3 times, he should have this.
Okay.
Now, here's one that for years has been a lock, and I locked it in very early. This is the first one I picked, and then I kind of am on the fence about, and I'm not sure if you guys think we should stay with it or not, and that is a Josh Allen anytime TD. Now, for a Josh Allen anytime TD, we need Josh Allen to rush the ball into the end zone. It's not if Josh Allen passes the ball and gets a passing touchdown, that's not an anytime.
He needs
TD.
to score the touchdown.
He needs to score the touchdown. I guess he could theoretically receive a pass as well. So he needs to be the one to physically score the touchdown. Now, this used to be a lock. However, this is why it's a dicey proposal this week. It's because Josh Allen has not rushed the ball in since week 1 when he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Allen, as you guys remember last week, probably very likely had a concussion. So I'm wondering if Josh Allen is going to be throwing himself headfirst into the end zone as he has done in the past. So that's the one that I'm dicey about.
Right.
But you know what? At 13-8, I think we roll with it. I think we let it ride this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been weeks since he's had one, but I think we go for it.
Right.
What do you think?
This is the conversation part?
This is the conversation part. Yeah, because Mikey had thoughts on this too, where he thinks that it's more likely than not, which is why he had me change it. More Mikely, if you will.
Well done.
Yeah.
Mikey, what's your concern here?
I think James Cook is injured. I think they're going to suit him up, but I don't think he's going to play nearly as much. And I think when it comes to the goal line, I think Josh Allen's just going to be like, you know what? I'm not handing it to anybody else. I'm going to do it.
I understand what Billy's saying about the concussion, but when you get into a game and, the adrenaline takes over, right, and he's got to run because he has to run, he's going to run that guy. Yeah.
As Chris Sims put it last week, the smart players lie about concussions and just keep playing. I think instinct's going to kick in with Josh Allen, and he's going to just run in for the end zone.
I forgot Sim said that.
Yeah.
Way to bring it back up.
Yeah.
Sure, he's trying to create some distance from saying that.
Brought it back up and highlighted it. Thank you.
Well, he's always there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't write it down. I could have written it down.
God bless.
Listen up, folks. The college football landscape has changed a lot. NIL deals, social media, the transfer portal. There's never been more distractions for an athlete, but Powerade knows what's important, the commitment to the game. With 50% more electrolytes than Gatorade Thirst Quencher, Powerade hydrates athletes as they block out the noise and put in the work. Hydrate your grind with Powerade. Grab a pack today on Amazon or at a store near you. See product label for additional details. It takes more.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. If you're like me, you're constantly thinking about the safety of the people and things you value most. After a friend told me about a break-in in his home in which many of his most valuable possessions were stolen, I knew I needed to secure my home with the best. I want you to have the same peace of mind that I and so many listeners experience every day, which is why I partnered with Simply Safe to offer listeners 50% off the system. Just visit simplysafe.com/GBF. I've trusted Simply Safe to protect my home for 6 years now, and the level of security and customer care has been incredible. I sleep better every night knowing Simply Safe's 24/7 monitoring agents are standing by to protect me and my home. Protect your home with Simply Safe right now. GBF listeners can get 50% off any new Simply Safe system, plus a free indoor security camera with Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/GBF. Claim this offer. It's for a limited time only, so be sure to order today. That's simplysafe.com/GBF. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football's a we thing, an experience that's best enjoyed together with good drinks and good folks. Smirnoff's the world's #1 vodka and is an official vodka partner of the NFL. And this year, Smirnoff's giving fans in select areas of the country a chance to win the ultimate game day experience. From tickets to sideline passes and much more. Just head to WeDoGameDays.com until November 15th, 2024 to enter for your chance to win. That's WeDoGameDays.com. Smirnoff. We do game days.
Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff #21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. 21 plus. Ends November 15, 2024. See rules at website for participating area and other important details. Sponsored by Diageo Americas Inc., New York, New York.